This podcast is proudly sponsored by Café Postal. Café Postal is located in the historic Rail and Commerce Building in Little Italy neighborhood of Omaha, Nebraska. Established in 1926, Café Postal was originally used as a mail depot and was a hub for mail all over the country. Located conveniently across the street from Union Station, which is now the beautiful Durham Heritage Museum, it is a true glimpse into the much overlooked history of Omaha, Nebraska. After its closing in the 1970s, the building sat vacant until 2017, when it was converted into the beautiful cafe along with several other offices throughout the rest of the building. They offer a huge variety of breakfast, lunch, and pastry items prepared and delivered daily by their sister company, Attitude on Food. One visit to Café Postal and it is clear that every menu item is passionately staff curated and artistically prepared with love and expertise. Café Postal is also available for private events, featuring exclusive catering and event coordination by the Omaha local Attitude on Food. Perfect for your next big celebration. If you're in Omaha, Nebraska, head over to Café Postal for a modern experience in a historic venue and enjoy some Midwest hospitality. Oh, and be sure to tell them the boys from Triple R sent you. Now, back to the show.
Hello, friends.
Oh, cheers to spring, baby.
Spring has sprung in the Midwest, which also means it's just a weird time to be living here.
Yeah. It goes from look, first off, before we get too far into this, allow this podcast, the Remain Rome Return podcast, allow this to be the official chronology of the downfall of weather patterns in America.
Put it in like the Library of Congress.
Yeah, like the Smithsonian.
I think it's the library. I don't think Smithsonian's like actual artifacts. I think it's Library of Congress.
Well, this is an artifact, baby.
A fartifact. Will that never not be funny if the word has art in it to say fartifact?
If you don't laugh at that, I don't know that you can be on this podcast.
I don't think so
listen.
Either. Yep, that's the if this is your first episode listening to us, don't expect better.
It only goes downhill. Yep. Like we always say, listen to our old stuff if you want to see what the real podcast is like. We haven't stayed true to form in, 15, 20 episodes probably?
Yeah, that's probably true. It started off so well and so on the point, and then I guess we're still kind of like we're talking about the Midwest.
Speaking, so the Midwest, spring has sprung, which means, of course, that on a regular basis, Nebraska is going through, what would you say, 60 to 70 degree swings in weather?
Yeah. It's it's one of those things where you're like, I don't know what the weather is going to be today.
Which, by the way, I will say this too. I'll put this out on record. I don't know that I remember this ever happening while I lived there.
Oh, it maybe not this...
going from 85 degrees to 15. I don't know that I've ever experienced
Wasn't that much.
It was pretty close.
So like Thursday and Friday were like low 80s. I think it got up to 83. And so like for me running, well, kind of just a bit more dramatic as you are.
Hey, it's a podcast. We got to be interesting.
And then today, I think it got up, the technical temperature got up to like 40, but the wind chill was 20.
I was pretty fucking spot on.
You were pretty close.
Damien, stop exaggerating. You were only off by 4 degrees.
Please. And so like it's just like I don't like you're like I was like oh, I'm going to, after the 80 days I saw last week, I'm like I'm going to start like putting away my winter stuff. And so like this morning when I was about to go on my run, I was like, oh shit, I have to go find my hat, my little winter hats and like my mitten and glove hybrid things.
So this is actually a really great point that we've never talked about in this podcast. I don't know how, but the putting away of winter clothes. Yes. Can you tell people who are not from Nebraska or like the Midwest, what does that mean exactly? Because it is a hilarious thing that happens.
I guess I didn't. I guess that's kind of true with LA.
About it. Yeah.
No, we haven't. So like in the Midwest, because we have basements and decent
storage.
Yeah, I would say almost every Midwesterner is what LA would consider a little bit of hoarders, just because we can.
Sure. Well, and you
Um,
with the once we get to the end of this, you'll understand why.
yeah,
You're almost forced into like sub
yeah,
hoarding.
yeah, and so you have clothes based on the season because, like, especially in Nebraska, of like, I will always joke that it is one of the worst places to live weather wise, in
Hmm.
the sense of like summers are horrible. Like when it gets up to those, like, it can get up to like 100 degrees, but it's also very humid.
Yeah, so it
Um,
feels like it's 115
yeah, it's
because
just
it's just
it's just
wet.
sticky. You walk outside your house and you just start sweating immediately.
That's another
And
term too. The Midwesterners use that a lot of people have no idea what why. What do you mean sticky?
yeah,
What do you
it's
mean
just
sticky? It's like I mean you literally like your clothes stick to your body the
yeah,
second you walk outside.
yeah, it's just like you're like, well, I'm not going out when the sun's out sometimes because it's so
But
hot.
even at night, that's the killer thing too. I
That's
think
true.
honestly, nighttime stickiness in the Midwest might be my least favorite time of year.
Yeah, that is definitely something of, yeah, when you're it's and it doesn't get dark until, like, close to 10 p.m. in like
Hmm.
July, like when it's the longest day of the year. So it's like you go out and it's like 11 p.m. and you're like sitting, in a lawn chair on someone's like deck or
Driveway,
driveway. Yeah, driveway beers, which I
my
don't know if
favorite.
I think we've talked about, right?
We alluded to it a little bit about how we love it, but we've never really gotten into it too much. But
Yeah, we'll have
that's the
to.
Midwest like dad heaven of just
Hmm.
like your bro comes over, a literal what are those the brand of coolers, ice chest or something like that, igloo,
Yeah, the igloo
the igloo
coolers.
coolers, and everyone has the same one. It's blue and white, and your
You
bro
talking about
comes
the one that
over.
like opens weird, or are you talking
Yeah,
about the?
the slidey one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yep.
those ones are fucking
Though,
primo.
see, you've been gone too long. Those have been replaced by everyone's all about Yetis here now. That's the
Yeti coolers?
Yeah, like $300 coolers. That's the
Jeez, no,
thing.
I'm talking like the thick like plastic,
Oh yeah, no, those.
you
That's
know,
what I'm saying.
$15 ones.
They've been replaced. Now you
Oh,
gotta step, because I still have the shitty '90s like
do you have the flip
slidey.
top one where
Yeah,
it's two lids but they're connected to form one but you can open one at a time?
yeah,
Yes. I love
yep.
those ones too.
That's
The
I still
drop
have
tops.
that. But everyone's like, yeah, ice can stay cold in this for 2 days, and it's like, why does that matter?
Yeah. I'm not
It's
camping.
Yeah, no, and it's like people are not taking those camping, and I'm like,
No.
that is a $300 cooler. And they're like,
Mhm.
yeah, but it's bear proof. I'm like, for all those bears at the Omaha Henry Dorley Zoo,
You're
which
proving a lot of points that are not feasible.
which they don't even have bears anymore.
Yeah.
They evicted those guys.
Good. Fucking troublemakers.
I think we,
Anyways,
yeah,
I think we were talking about what exactly does it mean to put away,
yeah. So,
right?
so we have that extreme, and then the winter, as we've talked about during the Snot Snickle episode, it gets down to like -30. So you need clothing for both seasons, and your usual like closet space where you have like your everyday clothes that you use every day, you like interchange them. So like it should be this time of year where I put away like my winter clothes, like sweaters, extra hoodies. Like I'll keep a few hoodies out just to have them, but like I own a lot of sweatshirts because it's so cold all the time here.
Right.
And then I'll break out like, the shorts, like,
Hmm.
and tank tops and like
And be
swimsuit.
and because you're putting them away every 4 to 6 months,
Yeah.
you can realistically have the same, you know, winter clothes for years and years and years. So in the Midwest, your winter clothes, it's not like you have to, like in California, you find a lot, people are constantly having to buy new warm clothes
Mm-hmm. Because
because
they just wore out.
it'll hit a cold snap out of the blue and then it'll be 75 degrees. So they go out and then it'll drop to like 50 degrees. So then they have to
Mm-hmm.
buy a new coat that day. So there's a lot of like repurchasing
Yeah.
of warm clothes here in LA. Whereas in Nebraska, the good thing is that like, I don't know. if it's 70 degrees today, it's going to be 70 degrees all day. It
For the
doesn't
most part.
it doesn't generally change that much throughout the day, whereas here it can be 85 degrees and then the second the sun goes down, it's like 50. And
Yeah.
people don't account for that, so they have to consistently buy new seasonal clothes. But in the Midwest, you can truly get away with having the same winter clothes for years and years and years, which is
Yeah,
why you need to store them somewhere.
I literally wore sweatpants yesterday that are 20 years old, like almost
Yes.
to the date because they're from high school. And Abby was like, "You need to throw those away." I'm like, "No,
Dude,
they're fine."
don't listen to her. Rest in peace, my Santa pants.
The infamous Santa
Oh
pants.
my god, I'm still so bitter about that. And the thing that kills me the most is my wife made me get rid of my Santa pants, and now she has purchased me very almost identical sweatpants, but they're pajama pants. And I
Yeah,
was like, I had these 7 years ago, and you made me toss them. Rest in peace, the Santa pants.
weren't they the rental original Santa pants pajama pants?
No, they were champion sweatpants,
Oh, I
but they
honestly
were,
thought
but they were like 4XL.
they were. You would just wear those to parties.
Oh yeah, I didn't give a shit. They were so comfortable because they were way too long, so I had to roll up the
Yep.
pant leg, and then they were also way too big. Even with the elastic, they
Yeah.
didn't have the drawstrings in them. So I would literally have to roll them from the pant leg up, and then I would have
Yeah.
to roll the actual waistline like
Yep.
6 or 7 times to make them fit. But because they were so big, even with all that rolling, they still
Yeah.
fit they were so comfortable. But yeah, I
Yeah.
just stroll up to a house party in my Santa pants and a fucking cut off sleeveless shirt.
Yeah, enough where we all knew about your Santa pants. Like that was just a thing. We're like, oh yeah, Damien's wearing his Santa pants. They're
Rocking the Santa pants.
rolled up in both directions.
And it was very mixed signals of my wife to make me get rid of them because one of the first parties she ever attended with the group, we were playing beer pong and I was wearing my Santa pants. And
Yeah.
that's when she fell in love with me. So just goes to show the fickleness of women.
Yeah. No, don't get rid of your clothes.
Never get rid of them. Don't get rid of your Santa pants. Don't get rid of your holy underwear.
Okay, maybe get rid of those.
Never throw out socks with holes in the heels. You're gonna need those, dude.
Those just turn into rags that you clean
Yeah.
things with. Even though you can buy microfiber cloths from Costco for like $5.
I will tell you, I hate microfiber.
I do too.
It grosses me out. Like I'm literally like,
Yep. Which they say might be a sign of autism.
Oh shit.
Because it's a texture thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, like I don't. Yeah, is that the thing? Is like, does everyone feel that way about microfiber?
Well,
like,
that's the thing. I'm like, if that means you're autistic, I think most people are autistic.
Or just everyone hate the feeling of them. Like, ooh.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
also, I don't understand how those became so popular. They're not particularly absorbent. They just move the wetness around. They don't absorb it at all.
You need like old underwear cloth.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's a very
It was built with a purpose.
Yeah.
You know?
They know what they're doing. It's meant to absorb.
Yeah. So, all right. So anyway, so you put away, did you actually put away your winter clothes officially then?
I put away what I thought was like the deep winter clothing. And so like winter
like the
jacket.
long johns, the winter coats.
Yep. Most mittens, like most of my stocking caps. I had to pull this one out and also another thing is a very Midwestern thing of me because the weather is like, I don't know what to set my thermostat. So it's just off.
Yeah. We're just going to suffer through it until it decides to get its life.
We don't know, like, and so, yeah, like on the last, those days when it was really hot, we just had all the windows open in the house, which still felt like pretty warm at night.
Oh, for sure.
And so we had fans going and stuff. And then like now it's cold. And so I'm like, well, I'm not turning the heat back on. That's off.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's
here's a fun one. Here's a fun competition because you use the term mittens.
Yes.
Are you a mittens guy or a gloves guy?
Oh, 100% mittens.
100% mittens. For those of you that don't know, Mittens are the full coverage. It's got the thumb, and then all five
Why do
fingers
you
go
explain?
into
I feel
one.
like people know what mittens are. Like,
No, people who don't
you
have to
don't
wear mittens.
think?
I don't think so.
I think people know what mittens are. There's like children's books about it.
Kitten mittens.
Kitten mittens.
No, so mittens are only the thumb is individual. Everything else is together.
Yeah.
And then gloves are actual like the toe socks, but for your hands.
Of how you're.
Now, toe socks, for those who don't know, are socks.
Are gloves for the feet. Which I do have a pair of those. They're weird. I don't like them though.
I don't like them at all. I tried them once and I was like,
I bought like a running pair because they say like they're better for your feet. But then I was like, these take too long to put on. Like to put.
If they were better for your feet, shoes wouldn't exist. Shut up. That's what I always say.
Fair enough. But
so you're a mittens guy because I'm a gloves guy, 100%.
I have like I have like mittens, but I also have like weird hybrid ones as well. So my running ones are cool. So like the base is a glove, so like I put my hand into the glove, but then it has like a little like thing,
a little
that,
Velcro.
Like, kind of, yeah. It like comes over, and like I can either stash the like it's kind of like a more of like a wind jacket mitten.
the pull away pants version of mittens,
kind of, and so then I can like roll it out and then put it.
For those of you who don't know, pull away pants became popular from the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yes. And then I have what I call my homeless man mittens, which is not a great term to call. That one is where it's like as I call it, the homeless man gloves, where so it's like, there is like the no fingertips.
The driving gloves.
Kind of, but the thumb still is like fully covered, but it has open, and then like it has a little mitten flap that goes over.
You're like a 1930s New York mafia bruiser. You're like, okay, now here's what's going to happen, right? And then you unvelcro it and folds over to protect your knuckles, but you can still strangle
the knuckles. It's just like the finger, like the fingertips here.
The boss said you're late on your payment. We're going to take the VIG, and the VIG is your kneecaps.
No, it's more of like I have like the mittens folded down, and I go up to that and I'm like, can you spare any change? I need the change.
You're fucking Christopher Lloyd from Dennis the Menace.
More like that, or I guess more like Joe Pesci in Home Alone.
There you go.
I think that's
The Wet Bandit.
The Wet Bandit.
Oh, that movie's so fucking good.
That is a excellent film of torture.
Speaking of films, recently I believe that you just went to a play based off of a film.
Yes.
I need to hear about this.
Yes, I think I told you as soon as I was out of there and allowed to use my cell phone.
Did you go to this thing and they made you put your phone in a Yonder bag?
They
no
should
recording.
Well, it was very so. I went to St. Michael's. I want to say it was only for the middle school part, but if you know anything about Catholic schools in the Midwest, they're like K through 8. So it was St. Michael's production of Beauty and the Beast Jr.
Let it be known, Christian does not have a child in middle school.
No, I have a nephew.
That makes sense.
That's why we went. So like Abby's best friend, like childhood best friend. She
also putting nephew in air quotes is highly suspect.
Well, that's the.
We keep him locked down in the basement, but he is technically our nephew if anybody asks.
It's easier.
He's got behavioral problems.
It's because it's one of those situations where like we're not blood related, like because it's Abby's best friend's son, and so like we've been around quite a while.
Almost like a godparent.
Yeah, like Abby would have been the godparent, but they're Catholic, and so like the way the Catholic Church is, you can't be a godparent if you're not Catholic as well. It's a very unique rule. And so like, but they call us like aunt and uncle, like, which does remind me, there was one time we were at like, he had like a flag football game and we were leaving early because we had to go do something else. And like the other parents were like booing us. And I was like, none of these are my children. I was like, wait, that doesn't sound good. I know Lucas. Wait, I know his mom, and that's why we're.
Luke is one of my greatest friends.
Yep.
Shout out, Lukey.
And so we went to it because to support him and the
What
art.
part was he?
He was like, I don't know, villager. He was just
Nice.
because he's only in 5th grade, so like the 8th graders get like the big parts.
Mm-hmm. So he was like the glue of the operation. Like
he was just he had a few lines, which was nice. Like,
there you go.
But do you want my full review of this?
I need it.
Production?
I don't want to. I need it. I must. Being a theater kid, I have to hear about.
Yeah. So it they did tell us very at the beginning because it was like Disney Beauty and the Beast.
Mm-hmm.
I should have said Disney's Beauty and the Beast Junior.
They had to put Disney on there.
Yeah, so Disney, so they got like permission from like they had to pay Disney because, as we all know, you don't fuck with the mouse.
You don't.
Michael Mouse will come find you, and so they very explicitly was like, "Hey, you can record like on your phones. Don't post anything on social media." And I'm like, they're gonna post stuff on social media. Like,
it's like the home video effect. You could always record back in the day. Because they knew nobody. I mean, people would come over and maybe watch it at the house or something, but you're not releasing it on YouTube.
Yep. Yeah. So it's very much that thing. And then I was like, they're gonna post it on because it's definitely, I think it's like the newest Catholic school in Lincoln. So I'm like,
so tune into the Remain Room Return Patreon
to watch Villager number 3. Also,
it's the one little clip you have.
I have to tell you on our way, because it's like in a newer neighborhood, of course, because it's a new like suburb of Lincoln, which feels weird to say it. The most Midwest shit I've ever seen of a house, and me and Abby both wanted to vomit when we saw it.
I have to hear about this.
Okay, so they don't. I feel like these don't exist in California, but split level houses.
Wait, split level. So like you walk in, and the entrance to the house is its own section of the house. Like, so you walk in, there's like the mud room or wherever you kick your shoes off, and then it goes up the stairs or down the stairs, but they're not connected stairs.
Technically connected. So but
connected by the walkway of the entrance. Like it's not.
So
it's not a continuous staircase.
Yeah, I would say the essence of it's not really a mud room. It's more of just like a landing. Yeah. You either walk in and you either go directly up or directly down.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever seen that here.
Yeah, and like we're not huge fans of split levels because they just look weird. Like so
actually, real quick, not to interrupt, but we did talk about this on a previous episode where we were talking about your problem friends coming over and they kick you downstairs.
Yes.
That's a split level house.
Yes. And split levels are very like Midwest like not good suburby. But
like where I grew up.
Yeah. Actually there's a decent amount in my parents' neighborhood as well. But now imagine a split level but 3-car garage.
Oh, that's a big come up. Damn.
But these are like new builds. I was like, I thought we left split levels back in like the 80s and 90s. But
are split level houses the cigarette of architecture right now? Coming back in a big way?
I know.
They shouldn't, but they're really coming back. Also, they cause cancer, so just be careful.
No, it's more of the return of the R word. Of housing. We thought we left this back in the past, and that's where it should stay.
There are appropriate words for this word. You don't need to use it anymore. They're like, no, we're bringing split levels back.
Yep, and I was like, both me and Abby were both like, that is the most Midwest horror show of a house that we've seen.
Oh my God, referring to split levels as the R word is maybe one of the best clips I've ever had on this podcast. That is so good.
It's just, we all know better. We shouldn't use it. Some people do.
We learned
now.
Our lesson a long time ago.
That we all thought, I thought we were all in agreement. We left that in the past, and then all of a sudden they're coming back, and some of us are like, no.
Yeah.
And so I just had to bring that up. I was like, these shouldn't exist anymore. And also like just the dystopian look of newer suburbs. Like are just not our thing.
Wait,
So
dystopian? What do you mean?
like everything looks
Like cookie cutter?
yeah, everything like looks exactly the same. You're like, oh yeah, pull up to the light gray house, and you're like,
Yeah.
they're all the light gray
Yeah,
house.
absolutely. No, dystopian is a fun. Yeah, that's a funny way to describe that because it is like I would say uniform,
Yeah.
but dystopian is weird where it's like it's that post-war like communism where it's like
Mm,
everybody gets the exact same thing, and not only is it exactly the same, but it looks the same.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a
And
good way to
so,
put that.
which I will say, like both the neighborhoods we live in are not like that at all.
Yeah,
And so
I'm looking up. It made me think of a Jesse Eisenberg movie.
the circle.
Yeah, is it The Circle? No,
I think
the one. Oh, damn it! Sorry, I hate doing this because
this is
it's
what happens when
annoying.
we don't have a producer. Which
I know it's the movie where they
oh,
go into the neighborhood where everything looks the same and it's fucking freaky.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I
Um,
cannot think of the name of it. It wasn't like
I'll
a
find
huge
it.
hit, I don't think.
No, no, it was pretty unknown.
Top of the morning to all you fine folks out there. This is Mike from the Paddy Wagon Podcast. Be sure to join us every other Wednesday for a proper drink as we talk with a variety of interesting guests, ranging from the funny to the informative, the educational to the idiotic, and everything in between. You can find us at thepaddywagonpodcast.com, Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows. For up-to-date information on our upcoming guests, be sure to give us a follow on Instagram at PaddyWagonPod. Until the next time, sláinte, my friends.
Vivarium.
Oh, yep, that's it.
Yeah, that one was fucking. That's what I think about when I think of cookie cutter, like split level ranches and stuff like that. That's if you want to get freaked out, watch that movie.
Yeah. And so that's where their school is at, which is it's a very interesting school because I think it's supposed to be like modeled after like like an Italian like Vatican kind of feel, but like not done well.
Yeah,
Like the Midwest suburb version of that.
that's
But
not the Sistine Chapel.
I'll move on to what I was about the actual, technically a musical, I guess, which
Yes,
seems weird
yes.
for middle schoolers to do. It started off with a prayer, which me and Abby were like,
Mm-hmm.
well then.
Yep.
And then they're like, yes, we picked Beauty and the Beast to see because it has so much Christian influence.
Of course,
Of redemption. And so,
and loving people for who they are, not what they look like. Right? That's a Christian Catholic value. Oh wait.
And so yeah, it was some children were better than others.
Uh huh. You have the ones who you could see being a star, and then you have the ones where you're like, "Woo,
Yeah, like
you're gonna be a plumber, son."
no, they're too fancy to do that. They'll nepo baby their way into something.
Yep, absolutely.
I'll start with who did really well.
Okay.
I would say the best out of all the children characters, who I think did the best of the source material.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds so pretentious saying about children. I can't think of the character's name. You probably, because you're much more into Disney than I. Gaston's like little friend. LeFou, yes.
Yeah.
The kid did excellent.
I was, not to derail you for the 15th time, but
go for it.
As a theater kid, when I did plays and musicals, those are the ones that I went out for. Those are the roles that I love because it's like there's no pressure. You get to just be a fucking idiot on stage.
Yeah.
So whoever that kid was, I know exactly why they went for it, and I know exactly why they killed it.
He was hilarious.
I love it.
Hit every line I was like,
how was his timing? Because LeFou has perfect timing.
He had very good timing.
Yes.
And that also I think helped so he was and then the Gaston character, he was very good too. He got the part better than some of the other children got their parts. Where like he was funny, like Gaston is a pretty big like role to do of
It's a
because
big deal.
the mannerisms are a huge thing.
Well,
Like
it's a complex role for as simplistic as Gaston is as a human. It's a very complex role because it's very funny because of how simple he is as a human. And so you really have to play up that like egotistical, almost like maniacal guy and also somehow be silly. So it's pretty important. So that's awesome.
Yeah, he definitely got like the vainness of it to be funny.
Nice.
And then I think I'm just maybe it's just because I like comedy so much, and that's maybe why I thought the kids who played these roles, and then the kid who played the dad did really well.
Crazy old Maurice.
Yep. He had the voice. Like, also watching a child do like an old man voice is always going to be funny to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I would try out for that role too.
So
LeFou would be my number one. Crazy old Maurice would be two, and then third would be probably Lumiere.
Yep, Lumiere did pretty well too. He had actually like a decent French accent.
There you go.
And then the boy who played Clocksworth, did fairly well. One issue that was for a lot of the different was they had like headset mic kind of situations. Okay. And so some worked a lot better than the others, and the ones that didn't work were it was just like like it made us look like a good production.
I was just gonna say it sounds like us in our live event.
Yes.
Rest in peace.
Yes. Very, very similar. Like, and so that was a huge the worst offender of it was the girl who played Belle.
Oh no.
And so it was just like, I think why Belle got the role was she was a very good singer, not cutting up for Belle. The acting line,
the acting chops.
As we
gotta have them both. Belle, notoriously, Belle is my princess, so you can't just cast any old singer for that.
Yep. So fantastic singer, but like didn't say. Just very flatly said the lines like, thank you, Gaston.
Oh no,
my father's not crazy. It's like, what? Oof. Just like didn't want to be there. The Beast was kind of similar, where he
that is something that plagues middle school and even up into high school theater. Is I don't know what it is, but you know what it is? It's like, shout out the Mike Payne episode of our podcast. They fit the suit. They're not particularly talented, but they fit the suit and they fit the role.
Yeah.
That was always the case when I went to middle school, especially when I was in theater, it was like, this guy is the fucking main character? Like, I would try out for it, but I would never get it. But then the guy who gets it, you're like, what? He's not even like trying.
Yeah. It's Mrs. Pot did really well, but her mic was cutting out here and there.
I feel you, Mrs. Potts. Shout out to you.
Yep. She had a very good singing voice, especially for like the major song.
How was Chip?
Chip was pretty good.
Nice. That's
also interesting. Of like, you couldn't do this in public school, but you can do it in Catholic school. The kids had to provide their own costumes.
Yeah. They don't have the budget for that.
No, it's more of like, the school doesn't have the budget, but the kids' parents probably do if they're sending them to private school.
That's what I mean. Yeah. The school itself isn't going to pay for the costumes. But
yeah. So Chip's costume, his mom did a fantastic job of,
we always had to do that too.
Like, it was like a big outdoor like plastic pot, and then like cut off the bottom so he could like shimmy it over himself, and then
great.
And actually had like really good painting to get that done.
That's awesome. Yeah, you really get to see the whose parents are innovative and creative, and whose parents are like, it's almost always, not to judge middle schoolers too bad. I feel like that is what we're doing. We're like the Ebert and Roeper of middle school plays, but it's like,
no, more like the Muppets. God, what are the Muppets guy? God damn it, I love the Muppets, but I can't.
I know the old guys.
Yeah.
but that was always a thing with the people who got the main roles. Their parents were never really like participating in the costumes, so the costumes are very just, you know, bare minimum. And then the people who got the tiniest roles, like I got a tree, and it was just like this big fucking like like cherry blossom tree that was gorgeous. I was like, that's perfect.
No, I will say almost all the costumes were like probably bought from Disney.
Oh wow, okay.
Like actual authentic, except for the chip one, which was done very well.
That does exist now too. It didn't exist when we were kids.
Yeah.
You couldn't just get online and order a fucking Belle costume.
Yeah, the Beast definitely was for sure, and I feel like Gaston's was as well.
So the Beast, the guy who played the Beast, was just okay.
Yeah.
How was his singing voice?
His singing was pretty decent.
Okay.
Like that's also I think in a musical you do more go for like, okay, who can sing,
right? Which is why I was never cast in the main roles.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been either. Actually, I was a good singer, and then I hit puberty, and then it went away. Yeah, it did not translate. But yeah, everyone else did, like, you know, the minor role, the villagers did well.
Yeah.
It was just also, it was interesting. I didn't realize Disney had like junior version, so it was like only like a little over an hour, which is perfect for like kid musicals. I'm also like, I will shout out to all of them of like, I don't know if like I could have done a musical in middle school, like memorizing like all the songs and lines and like.
That's that is something that I will say too, is it comes pretty natural to me. It's one of the things what Abby always talks about, where she says that she has like TV show or movie amnesia, to where we'll watch something and it could be 6 months later, and she'll be like, "Hey, do you want to watch this movie?" It's like, the movie we just watched.
Yeah.
You know, and she's like, Damien will legitimately watch a movie once or twice and will have like certain lines already memorized.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't think she has amnesia. I just think that that's normal. I think that's how most people are when they watch stuff. But mine is like, I key into the inflection of the way that people say things. I remember shows based on the characters themselves. I'm like, oh, this guy was doing this. This was his backstory. So some people just have that naturally, and that's why I got into plays and musicals, because it's like, oh, it's memorizing lines is so easy.
My problem is, I remember even with songs, Abby makes fun of me of like, I remember pretty much everything, but a few words I'll change out.
Yeah.
She's like, that's not the line.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm singing it this way. She's like,
I don't care.
And she's like, the most frustrating part is like, you almost have exactly 95% of the song, but the 5% is just wrong. And I think she's like, that is what is even worse, is like, I want you to either be more wrong or exactly correct. And so
one of the other skills I have too is, even if I don't know the words to the song, I remember the melody and the way that, like, the cadence of the vocals. So, and I actually learned this being a metal vocalist for a long time. I know exactly the beats they hit, but I don't know the words. So if you're not listening closely, you really can't tell that I don't know the words. So I match the pitch, I match the cadence, but I don't actually know the words. So I get away with that a lot.
Yeah, it's overall though not terrible. It's kind of cool, like they can afford to pay Disney for like the rights to do that, and like use the, you know, they made shirts. Also with it, Abby's friend is the like art teacher at the school.
Oh, nice.
And so she like designed the sets, which was really cool. And those were actually pretty, like, again, for being a middle school thing, of like the sets were pretty good.
Yeah, they have some pretty talented people in those. I would say the best that I've ever seen is Brownell Talbot.
Oh,
their theater and their plays are always pretty fucking on point.
Okay, I think we have to explain to people who are not from Omaha, or even the people who are from Omaha.
So gloves are ones with fingers.
Brownell Talbot is, I'm gonna say definitely the most expensive private school in the state of Nebraska,
It's
hands
like a
down.
prep
Like,
school, yeah.
it's non-religious, but it's a like. I think I said this to you and your Abby. It's like essentially if you go there, you have a very good shot of going to an Ivy League school.
Absolutely.
Your
Absolutely.
your the
That's like what it's
tuition
for.
is bonkers, like more expensive than college.
Yeah, it's about the same as pretty decent colleges to go
Yeah,
there. But
and
their theater and play are they're really really good.
yeah, yeah. Where Abby went to high school, Lincoln Southwest, they're known for like their theater program as well. And we went to go see. They did Mary Poppins, which was cool, and like actually had like kids flying through the air,
Yeah. Yeah,
which
Lincoln
sounds
Southwest was our biggest rival in
mm,
forensics in high school.
the
They were brutal. Them and Brownell Talbot,
yeah.
actually, hilariously enough.
You're
Oh
saying
wait,
the
Brownell Talbot isn't high school.
yeah it is. Well,
Oh
it's K
yeah, it
through
is.
it's like K through
K through
12,
12. Yeah.
but it's so like private that it's kind of smaller because it's just private and
Them and
expensive.
so those two, and then Millard North
Yeah,
were our biggest competitions.
the wealthy suburb schools,
Absolutely.
essentially, where they
Absolutely.
have like they have parents who are willing to donate to the programs.
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
They're like,
Well,
oh,
that sounds fun.
my kid's not good at sports, so we're gonna have them. We're gonna pay for the theater so they have something to do.
Yeah. Which shout out, keep doing that. Keep the theater alive because that shit
Yeah,
was so fun. That was really transformative for me. Was doing stuff like that and drama clubs and forensics and shit like that. It's kind of why I am who I am. So
yeah.
keep
I
donating to that.
wish I would have like done that, but I also like it's gonna sound funny to people who are from like LA, but like me and Damien went to like bigger high schools where you kind of had to like stay in your own lane a little bit. You could really only do one thing. Like you had to pick. You could be like, oh, am I going to do sports or am I going to do theater? Not in like like a my friends aren't going to like me kind of thing, or like this is
Mm-hmm.
the early 2000s or mid 2000s of like, oh, if I do play, everyone's going to think I'm gay if I'm going to pick that over sports.
Yep.
But no, it was just you didn't have time to do both, or
Yep. I
like
legitimately I wanted to play basketball, but in the school that I was in, anybody from Omaha
yep,
knows. Good luck getting onto the basketball team if your parents aren't alumni
yeah, or donors.
or donors of that, yeah, of the sports system.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I don't stand a chance getting on the team, so I'm going to find something else. And I found forensics.
Yeah. And like I wish I could have done ran track and cross country, and so that took up a lot of my time.
Mm-hmm.
Um
We actually had some kids from track and cross country in forensics, and they always dropped forensics.
yeah.
Every single time they dropped it because they're like, I can't do both.
Yeah. Like you just it's just really hard versus like I have friends who are from like small towns, which is the benefit of going to small towns. And I know some friends who are here in Lincoln but are thinking as their kids grow up going to smaller towns so they
Mm-hmm.
can do everything cuz
Exactly.
they just need bodies and there's not enough. And so like you can play literally every sport you want to play. You can be the lead in every play because you need just people to do it. They're like, we want that experience versus like us talking about like, oh, you have to choose and like
Right. Yeah,
just a big
absolutely.
school. And also like we wanted to go to support Lucas because
Mm-hmm.
he is like now getting to that age. He does like play select baseball, but to be like, hey, no, like you can do both. It's cool to do both. Like
It
you don't
is.
have
Yeah.
to
Be a
choose.
multifaceted person
Yeah.
because it is, especially once you get older and stuff, if you only had one type of experience throughout
Hmm.
school, it gets difficult to manage real life.
Yeah.
You got to have multiple experiences and multiple interests.
Yeah. And it is kind of hard thing of like with sports, like, oh, you're not going to go pro. And also with theater, it's like more likely than not, you're not going to like make that your profession. But
Right.
like there are still like local stuff you can do,
Of course.
like
Yeah.
local theater and
The Omaha Community Playhouse,
Mm-hmm.
shout out, is a great option for anybody who's really, really into theater, but maybe couldn't.
Or I'll shout out even a smaller one. The Florentine Players. They're out of the Florence part of Omaha, which is like the very north part of Omaha, kind of by the airport in some essence. But my late uncle was like the tech for it, and so
Right on.
um, they do
Yeah,
some really cool stuff.
that stuff doesn't get enough love, especially in smaller cities and stuff like that. But places like LA, there's always going to be a
Mm-hmm.
bigger sect of people who keep that alive because maybe you're the misfits or the outcasts or whatever,
Yeah,
but there's more of you
yeah.
to keep that stuff alive as opposed to small towns. You only got a couple people who can't choose one of the more popular paths. So stuff like that's really important, especially in small towns.
And it's also in small towns like needed, right? Like
Yeah.
in LA you're gonna get everything. You're gonna
Hmm.
get every Broadway tour that's coming through. You're gonna get like um there's just always going to be things versus like small towns. If people aren't doing it,
Hmm.
it just might never come at all. And
Yeah.
so
I have a big recommendation for you. Speaking of choosing between sports and theater,
mhm.
I have a recommendation that kind of is a conglomeration of both. I don't
Yes.
know if you've seen it yet, but it's on Netflix. It's called Running Point.
Is that the Kate Hudson show?
Kate Hudson, written by
Yes.
Ike Barinholtz. It
Yes.
is fucking awesome, and it took me almost until the end of the episode or the end of the season of that show to realize, oh, this is about Jeannie Buss.
Oh, 100%. I
I
got
was
that
like,
right off the
I
bat.
didn't even like put it together until afterwards. Like, oh, okay, this is
Yep.
because she's also one of the producers, which I didn't realize until I
Oh,
looked it up.
also shout. Did you watch God, what's it called? The HBO series on the Lakers?
I don't think so.
Oh,
Is it
maybe
good?
that's why I got it so quickly because I watched. If you have the chance, I cannot think of the name of it. This is the episode of me and Damien cannot
Hold
think
on.
of the name
Keep
of it.
talking.
Yeah,
Keep
it's
talking.
um, but it goes over like Bus buying the Lakers.
Is it the rise of the Lakers dynasty? Winning
Yeah,
time?
yeah, winning time.
Okay.
Fucking fantastic. Like,
Okay. I'm gonna
especially
add
as
that
you as
to
a
it.
huge like NBA fan, it does a really
Ex
good job
ex
of.
NBA fan. I
Okay.
can't claim it anymore. Anybody who actually knows me knows I don't watch it anymore, but that was my number one for a long
Yeah.
time.
You'll like it talks about like the Bus buying the Lakers, getting Magic
Yep.
on, and then like the whole rivalry with the Celtics, um, and then going into and just kind of how that all played out.
And the
It's
other reason I recommend Running Point is because, first of all, love basketball,
mhm.
love movies, love TV, but Abby loved it, and she is not a sports fan at all.
Yeah.
So it's something that is really like palatable for even people who don't know.
It's
You don't have to know anything about the
yeah.
NBA.
No, I would say basketball plays a second fiddle to the actual like storyline of her just kind of a female running a company in a male dominated field.
Yeah,
I
if you're a
think
fan
is.
of like girl boss themes, this is really going to hit home.
Yeah, and like in a I don't want to say a palatable
Mm-hmm. Palatable.
another episode clip of Christian not pronouncing words correctly of like not being like too woke in a way. Again, that sounds
Agreed.
bad. Like
It's one of the main.
it feels
writers.
natural.
It is. It's very natural. It's also very fucking funny without
Oh, it's
being like
hilarious.
over the top, like offensive or anything. But it's because it's predominantly written by Ike Barinholtz, who is like honestly one of the most unsung heroes of writers in Hollywood. You've probably seen him in like Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Okay.
He plays the guy in the denim who creates the clothing brand of Gape
Oh
instead
yeah.
of Gap.
Yep.
But he's part anything that you really, really love comedy wise, he's gonna be
Yeah.
part
A
of it.
writer for it.
So I saw that it was written by him and I was like, we're watching this, and it was fantastic. So
Also helps for you, like it's LA based.
exactly. Yeah. That another recommendation, speaking of LA base, is High Potential.
Yeah.
It's another fantastic TV show with Caitlin Olsen of Sunny fame.
Yes.
Cannot recommend it enough. And people, whether they know Sunny or not, they love that show.
I think we I'm not sure if we talked about it on the pod, but we definitely talked about it when I was out there visiting, of like, with it being an ABC show, we're like, oh, is she gonna be like too like, is the mouse gonna ring her in? But they let her play, like, it's a very milder version of D. Like, Caitlin Olsen still gets to act very much. Like,
And
she's just a great actress.
And she's not just the comedy Caitlin Olsen. She can cry on command.
Yeah.
She's very, very talented. So yeah, that's another big recommendation for TV shows. Another recommendation is the new Architects album. The Sky, the Earth, and All Between is honestly maybe the best metal album that I've listened to in like 5 or 6 years.
Wow.
It's fantastic. I mean, really, really good. So check that out.
Yeah. No, I would say you probably have already listened to it. Recommendation on the album. The new Day to Remember.
Yep, the Big Ol' album.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. That's Abby's recommendation would be that for sure, because she's been listening to that nonstop since it dropped.
Mm-hmm.
Also, another one that just dropped, by the way, the new Blue Stones, not Blue Nation.
Nope.
Blue Stones.
Shout out Blue Nation.
Shout out Blue Nation. Love you. But the new Blue Stones album called Metro is fucking incredible.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. Very, very good.
Yeah. And so, should we move to the mailbag?
I don't know what that means, but yeah, go for it.
We're very bad about checking our email, as you would expect from our listener submitted questions.
Oh, do we have some?
We at least have one. I don't know if.
Do you have it?
Yeah.
I have it.
So it was written. Is there a meal or restaurant or fast food place you eat at that if your wife isn't in town or isn't eating the meal with you, what would it be?
Like
something like essentially.
A guilty pleasure?
Yeah, I think it's more of a question of being like, okay, what does your wife like judge you for eating that you love, but you eat it when she's not around?
Well, you've had more time to prepare. What's your answer?
Probably number one is Long John Silver's.
No, it's not, dude. You still go there?
I fucking love Long John Silver. The worst part is like there's one less than a mile away from us, and like it is deteriorating. Like I think
of course it is. You're not supposed to eat that.
It's like the building looks like it would give you tetanus. It looks like it's been sitting on the seaside for ages, but nowhere near water. Oh, I fucking just no.
What is your order? So it's a guilty pleasure. You go there without Abby. What is your order? Because that's one thing that I will say. If I'm ordering by myself, I order an embarrassing amount of food.
I order a reasonable amount because it's Long John Silver's, and you don't want to like overeat that.
Shout out unlimited fish and chips.
Oh,
burgers on the shitter, I believe, is the episode. If you want to hear about that,
no, I think that might be a different one.
All right, well, listen to our old stuff. We're better.
Yep. No, I get very classic, just like 2 fish planks. I don't know what they call them.
Fish planks.
I don't know what they call them.
Fish sticks?
No, they're not sticks. They're like, they actually look like they would be in the shape of a fish.
Okay.
Like naturally.
I'm assuming it's like white cod or something like that. Yeah.
And then fries, the hush puppies.
Oh, okay. I will give you credit. Those hush puppies do rule.
Which are probably the worst thing for you. Hey, let's just have deep fried dough.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And then coleslaw.
Do you know the etymology of hush puppies?
I believe they used it to feed to the dogs, and that's why they're called
so it was created by the slaves, in order to throw to the guard dogs to
That's
keep
right.
them quiet while they're escaping. I thought
Mhm.
that was an interesting thing.
Yep, and now they're just at Long John Silver's. And then I put some little vinegar and salt on the fishies and my
Oh, yeah.
chips and
Extra salt, of course.
Yep, because I need it. And then an ungodly amount of tartar sauce.
Yeah. Yep.
I asked
Makes
for
sense.
extra tartar sauce.
I do
Yeah.
like tartar sauce as well.
And so I would
Extra
say
pickles.
that is definitely up there for, I would say that's number one. And then
Okay.
it can be a hit or miss with Abby. We've talked about it on the podcast for sure. Me going there as I love Popeyes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's one
Popeyes
plate.
is-
Like it shows how good the food is. Because I used to have a bit about this. I wish I still told it. Like, Popeyes is good because no matter what Popeyes you're going to, you're gonna get the worst service.
Oh, of course.
And I remember one time, Abby really didn't eat Popeyes until like she started dating me, and we went one time, and like she's like, you do a different voice when you order at Popeyes. And I was like, yeah.
Yo, what up, man? Can I go ahead and get
A
one of
little
them
bit.
buckets of chicken?
She was like, you're a little angrier, and I was like, yeah, I want to make sure I get the right order.
And they're like, excuse me, sir, could you lower your voice?
No, Popeyes. At least the Popeyes in Lincoln. I've also have so many Popeyes. I've talked about the bulletproof lazy
Shit,
Susan.
give me some of the fried chickens.
We've talked about my buddy Chance on here. This was in college, and we were at a Popeyes in Lincoln. We were like inside, and it was like not closing time. It was still like an hour before they were supposed to close, but they're already closing like early.
Closing time.
And they have very good sweet tea. One of the only places in Nebraska that you can get really good sweet tea outside of Cane's. And he was like, they were out, and he was like, hey, like, do you have any more sweet tea back in the back? They're like, no, just drink the regular tea and put sugar in. He's like, I'd rather have it like, and then not the cashier, the manager was, don't be a bitch.
I love it.
And
my response would be, you know what? You're right.
Yep. And so, Popeyes has a very special place in my heart.
I fucking love it. The spicy chicken at Popeyes is unbeatable.
Still the fucking chicken sandwich wars happened. Popeyes just knocked it out of the park.
Well, and not even close. That's why that spicy chicken sandwich war, it lasted a couple weeks. It was like you can't beat Popeyes.
Do you remember like hearing about the fucking like riots that were happening at Popeyes because of the goddamn chicken sandwich?
Dude, I almost rioted at Popeyes because I went through the drive-thru one time and I ordered a spicy chicken sandwich and they were out, and I was like, close and burn the place down then.
Yeah, it's
what the fuck are you even still doing here? Don't open the doors if you don't have spicy chicken sandwiches.
It's like double the size. The chicken patties double the size of a Chick-fil-A sandwich.
Well, they use a fucking breast, like a full breast of chicken. It's so good.
It it's a full meal, and it's very inexpensive.
My favorite thing to do with Popeyes hot chicken sandwiches, and I think actually you've inspired me because we may have to do this tonight, but anytime that Abby and I go to a movie, like at a movie theater, we will stop in the drive-thru of Popeyes and we'll get one classic and one spicy chicken sandwich. So we have 4 sandwiches in her purse. We walk into the movie theater, grab a large soda and a popcorn, and just fucking demolish Popeyes chicken sandwiches in the theater. It is the best theater snack ever.
That sounds amazing. The only problem is like the Popeyes are nowhere near any of the movie theaters here.
Yeah, we do have to go a little bit out of our way, but it's worth it.
I know. I was like, oh man, referring to our last episode about traffic in LA, where I'm like, I need to quit bitching about anything in Lincoln after. I was like, oh, the Popeyes is so far away. And then like I looked at the GPS, I was like, oh, it's only 10 minutes.
Oh, it's so worth it, dude. If it's that close, you gotta get it.
Oh yeah. It's
with their Cajun ranch. Oh my God, it's so good.
And so probably next time Abby's doing something, that'll be my go-to. Now that I've said all mine.
My deep, dark, hidden secret. If Abby's not around, and I need a little sin, a little secret sin that shall not be named, it's always Five Guys.
Interesting.
And I'm not talking about the restaurant, baby. Thanks for tuning in to Remain Rome Return. Everybody have a great night and subscribe and follow and bye.
Bye.